we just flipped and went between and then went through a very long portal. And Gilly, are we in another galaxy? Yes, we are. And we're waiting for a ship once again. Yes, we are. Oh, okay. One just came through a portal. And this is a friendly ship. They have cloaked me once again. So they have cloaked my energy signal before I left to come here. This is a friendly ship that just came into existence. No, it's not. Okay. Then are we also waiting for a shuttle? Yes, you are. Okay. Oh, it's coming from that angle. I was looking in a different direction. All right. I see this dark object that just came in. It's cloaked. But I'm starting to get familiar now with the energy signal of a ship in front of us. Or actually a shuttle. This is a small transport vessel. Door is opening, and we're leaving the Sophia dragons that came with us, and we're headed in. Julie, can you get in this transport vessel? No. We will meet you elsewhere. Okay. All right. And she's taking me in so that I can get off. All right. So, I am in the transport vessel, and she's backing out. Thank you, Gilly. That wasn't easy for her. That's different. Okay. The door is shutting. And lights! Yay! Guys, I just don't like being in the dark. There's too many past life traumas based on being buried in dark. It's never a comfortable space for me. Hello, Galilee. Namaste. It's so good to see you. Namaste. We missed you last month.
Namaste, everyone.
Hello, Marc. Yes, we missed you too. Hello, Kari. Thank you so much. Thank you. I should say that it's Ari is her name, but I call her Kari because we're both from the House of Ka. And you have Willem with you. Hello, Willem. Nice to see you. Ambassador Kassandr. Thank you. You're here as well. Yes, namaste to both of you. Okay, are we on another secret mission to obtain information? We are. We wanted you to be a part of this. Okay. Well, good.
Sounds exciting, as usual.
Yeah, we're 007 agents, Marc. I want to be a 006. That's my life purpose number. I'm 006. You can pick your own number, Marc.
Infinity.
You're Agent Infinity? Yikes, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Agent Infinity. You got it. I might have to come
Infinite possibilities in service of love. Support
there
all
we
creation.
go. Galilee said that works for us. We'll take it. Okay. So, Ambassador Kassandr is pulling up a screen. It's, and showing us what's being monitored. I love this, guys. They just pull up this, like, all of a sudden this glass, like see-through glass comes up, and then you see images on it. It's what we've seen in movies. I can't think of the movie that showed that, but anyway, that's what just popped up, and I'm seeing all of these images, and what galaxy are we in? Does that matter? Are we in the Andromeda Council? No, Karen. We're in one of the galaxies in the Orion network. Okay. Okay. No wonder we went between so long and in such a long portal. All right. So we're monitoring reptilian and Draco energies. We're monitoring their stations. They have stations throughout this galaxy where they store things. It could be weaponry. It could be slaves. It can be super soldiers in stasis chambers. There's multiple things that we are tracking. And those lights that you're seeing on the monitor throughout this galaxy, those are stations that we are aware of. Okay. The ship that is here has come for a meeting. They want a meeting to discuss how they're going to utilize some of the weaponry that's in there. All right? And what you need to know is there is a boundary. We've talked about that there is a boundary around Earth that is preventing them from coming and going. However, they have satellite networks that they can send signals through. And that's what we're concerned about. And those satellite networks sending information and or energy weaponry through. So they're using energy signals and fields as a weapon in your galaxy. Okay. Throughout the whole Milky Way galaxy or just our solar system? Throughout the whole galaxy and others. Got it. Okay. So,
is there a way for this to be blocked?
We're working on it.
Whatever that they're sending the signal to, and then sort of like what they're doing with the satellites around the Earth, and that had were part of the dark technologies, and how that has been neutralized. Something along that general idea, only in a more advanced method?
Well, it's similar to what we talked about before in one of your earlier shows, Marc, where they had the energy weapons and we were able to scramble the signal that was coming to Earth. So we're working on how to scramble the signal or stop it more than block it. Because if we block it, depending on where we block it, the frequencies of it can still be harmful. We really are wanting to stop it at the source. That's the best scenario. If we can't get to the source, then yes, we'll look at blocking it. But the bottom line, we were able to scramble. the other's at the source, and that's what we're working on here. Go ahead.
The certain energies are coming through, say, electrical, for example, and you can have it go back on itself, like a feedback loop, back onto it on itself, back to its source, and it could then destroy or negatively affect the source, and maybe even remodulate it in that reflection back, so that it will have the effect that you desire.
Galilee and Korea laughing and saying, "You tuned in, Marc. That is what we're working on." Exactly what you just said. Okay, so show us how you're doing that then, that Marc tuned in on. What is, so the signals will keep flashing. I just keep flashing. What does the ship have to do with this? Why is the ship here? The meeting, Karen. They're meeting with galactic representatives. Do we have the spy in there again who can provide intel of what is happening? Yes, we do. Awesome. All right. So we'll be able to see and hear what's going on? No. He was too vulnerable with that technology. So we will wait until she can get some feed out to us. How will she do that if we can no longer hear and see what she's hearing and seeing? She has a new method. I can't interpret what they're... Sorry, guys. I'm having trouble interpreting what they're giving me at the moment. Galilee, can you help me? Somebody help me with what's going on. Ambassador Kassandr is opening up another screen, another monitor. What? I'm trying to interpret what's going on here. Karen, and Ambassador Kassandr is speaking. This is the field in the ship. We are triangulating a signal so that it's not coming from her. It's coming from another direction. We don't want them to realize she's the source. Are there more than one agent in this meeting? No, isn't. But we've been able to get some implants in there, and they are causing us to be able to read some of this information that's coming up. Oh, there's a feed of information that's starting to fly up here on this monitor. Is that why you had the dragons come? Are they helping to triangulate too? They're helping to move this energy. They keep flying and looping and going back and forth in time, in flipping through time and space. So they're causing a distraction and disturbance in the field that is keeping the ship from noticing what we're doing. That's our intent. And the dragons are safe in doing this. Yes, and they're not the only ones. We have multiple groups working with us. Okay, good. And other beings as well. So there's multiple beings that are causing distractions right now. Okay, that makes me feel better. All right. So, do they not realize that their stuff is being taken down and that they do realize it, Karen. However, they're very aware now of Ambassador, Commander Zillions bases and their work. So Commander Zillion is causing a lot of upset for these groups now. They're scrambling. They're really in survival mode in many, many, many ways. We've gotten this group back to a survival mode. Even in the Orion Galaxy, which is their galaxy, they are losing their foothold. So many have, I guess what you would say on your planet, so many have awakened. So many reptilian species have awakened, and they've reached that 100th monkey, and they're starting to just decide, no, I'm not being your slave. No. And so they're waking up from being a slave, and they're moving forward into being their own sovereign self. And so the ranks of the sovereign are increasing exponentially. And it's known. The captive ones, the ones who want to power and control, are losing their foothold. Something fierce right now. That's the beauty of this. That's what's wonderful about this. Okay, great. Good to know. All right. So we're seeing all this information come up. What is the feed that I keep seeing? It's like, guys, it's like if you saw feeds on a computer screen of code. It's just code. It's that kind of a feed that I'm seeing. I can't decipher any of it. Jolie moved over to it and said, no, but we can. So, very great. I'm glad. Oh, Philum joined them. Galilee saying this is Willem's specialty. He knows these codes. That's why we brought him today. Thank you, Willem. So all three of the men are staring at the screen. This is so typical. And Carrie is with me.
I love this. Thank you. I love it.
You go stare at the screen with them, Marc.
Okay.
Carrie, I'm going to talk.
I'll do
Carrie, fill me in on what's going on here. Okay. So, Karen, once we know what this coding represents, we will have a better understanding of what is being transported through these different stations that are lit up that you saw earlier. Hopefully, we will be able to determine from the feed what's coming from each station. That is our intent and our hope. So we have enough of the reptilian groups now that they can help us if we can interpret it. Commander Zillion's groups will take this and decipher it in a heartbeat. We'll be able to know what's going on. Once we have that, we'll determine whether or not we need to scramble or whether we need to do a loop, a feedback loop like Marc was talking about, so that it goes back to the source and destroys it. We have to determine what is in these stations. Can we afford to destroy them, or would it harm innocent beings? Do they have slaves in those stations? We're hoping this feedback tells us that so that we can free those slaves. These are all the pieces of information that we are attempting to learn. How does this information affect Earth? Hang on, you can ask yours next. How does this information affect Earth? Some of these stations are pointing to Earth. Some of these stations could have Earth slaves. That's what we need to know. We're hoping to have that information. Are these the same signals that could be sent to Earth to cause harm for certain vibrations of beings, if they're on a particular drug or have had a particular shot that has a particular frequency? Would this affect them, these frequencies? Yes, Karen, that is still a possibility from these different stations. Thank you. That's what I wondered. Go ahead, Marc.
Yeah, well, I was thinking along that idea, as well as a quantum resonance matter materialization at the endpoints where they want the signals to get to, which will then materialize in a energetic way that their contacts in the DS and others that will then utilize that to use as a weapon and cause harm, such as the Greys could utilize that, the technology they have given, to receive that energy, that quantum resonance materialization, to do what you were just talking about, as well as other dark technologies to continue their dark agenda to cause harm, to control, and manipulate, especially with those on Earth that they already control and manipulate already, as those of the DES.
DEEP STATE, for anyone listening that hasn't gotten that that's a word we can't say. Okay. So your question is what, Marc? I want you to clarify it for everyone listening.
That they are trying to send a quantum resonance frequency, of which Greys and others that they control, manipulate, will then receive this information to materialize that information through the quantum resonance frequency into a physical technology which they can then utilize to continue in their dark agenda.
Got it. So you're asking
which
if
would
that's
include
one of the
not
possibilities.
only Greys that are hiding in this planetary system, for example, they're looking to receive the particular frequencies. Dracos that are in stasis, that when these particular frequencies, their stasis chambers will then receive this information, which will then waken them up and give them direction as to what to do and how to do it.
Right. And many
sort
other...
of like a programming code, such as a programming code for their nanotechnology.
Yes. Or or the inbreds that are on the planet, or the other alien species that are here, could all utilize that signal. Good question, Kari. Is that one of the potentials of this? It is, Marc. It is. You've explained it well. So if we determine that it's a resonance pattern, as you suggested, Marc, it can be used in the field. The field's plasma. They have determined how to create a type of replicator where they can send the codes, and it would arrive on Earth and could be then put together or added to another structure and create that force, substance, weapon in Earth, on Earth.
Yes, that is what I was getting. Yes.
Exactly. And that is one of the huge concerns right now of what's going on. Because they are digging deep right now to get whatever resources they can. And those resources that you just talked about, that could be sent to inner Earth as well and affect our worlds. It would affect the whole planet. They can send it to the core of the planet. They can send it to the different caverns within the planet with different species of extraterrestrials or surface humans that have the nanites in them that they can then activate. Well, activation codes. Ultimately, that's the bottom simple elementary definition of it that people can relate to. There's ways to activate it. No different than what we can equivalate this to for everyone listening is when a hacker or some malevolent being sends a virus code to your computer, which then causes it to just formulate all different codes that are destructive. That's exactly what these frequency patterns could do, and be sent to a person to create a virus code within that nanite technology, which then just takes over and takes over the person.
All right. An idea that I got is an omnipresent quantum resonance filter around the Earth and this planetary system, interdimensional, of course, is omnipresent, so that if a signal comes through, it can be decoded and remodulated to have the opposite effect that they are intending, or just simply feed it back as we have already discussed.
Commander, or Ambassador Kassandr just turned around at what you had said, Marc, and he's going to answer. Marc, that would be excellent if you would put that into play. That's a very good idea, and it has potential for some of the frequency signals that are coming in. Not all of them, but some of them. That's a wonderful preventative to help us maintain the field right now. So, yes, please do that. We are still concerned about some other more opportunistic possibilities that you mentioned before, and how they can send code to the nanites and cause basically viruses to explode in people, places, and beings, other species. So there is a lot going on right now. Go ahead.
I mean, look at what is going on with the reptilians and the 100th monkey effect. and how that is bypassing working with their nanotechnology and how they are overcoming it. Let's see what we can do with that idea through this process here on Earth. Not just on Earth, but all of the other Earth human colonies that are spread out, as you well know, through all aspects of the Space Force, good and dark, and how they have been spread out, and be aware of the utilization of what we have been talking about. Because they need to be watched carefully too, because they can be working with our other Earth colonies to see what they can do that would work with them, that would then work in a similar way to the Earth surface humans here on Earth. So those colonies need to be closely monitored, as you well know.
And that's what we are doing. So yes, you've described it well. That is exactly what we are doing. While you were talking, Marc, Villian went, yes, we got it. We got it. So the triangulation field worked effectively and you got all the information you needed? Yes, Gilly is saying, we did. We have it all. It's brilliant. And what about the spy? Is she safe? She is. She is. The feed was being triangulated multiple ways. It could not be tracked. I'm seeing this field. They're kind of giving me this vision of a field. And it's like you have laser guns and you're shooting them. Like you have people all in a circle shooting laser guns all over the room, and you're just seeing zing, 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 up, down, forward, over, round, sideways, in all directions. Is that what it was like? Yes. Yes. So they could not determine what we were doing, and we got the feed correctly. Oh, that's wonderful. So now you'll know what to do with all of those stations. We'll know exactly what's going on in each station, or at least enough information that we'll know how to pursue this. We'll meet with Commander Zillian's forces now, and we will review this information and come up with the plan of how we will support these feedbacks. What needs a feedback loop, what needs a scramble, what needs a takedown, what we need to destroy. This is perfect and exactly what we were hoping for. Oh, yay! Very great. Okay, good to know. Yes, it is excellent. And Marc, to finalize what you were saying, these stations aren't all pointed to Earth. These stations are pointed to all those different colonies you were talking about, or at least many of them. So it will affect other locations, other galaxies, other points throughout this universe. We are very excited about this. And it means that a lot of these codes will be able to track other stations, and will be able to determine from their energy signal they put off basically what their intent is as well, now that we've got this coding. Unless they completely change all of their coding, we'll be able to handle a lot of them and take them down, or closely monitor them to learn more. So with that, we are going to leave this field. We want to get out of here. Okay, do I get off the ship now? No. Gilly is somewhere else for you right now. All right, oof, we are moving.
All right. Now, the one question which I have, which is related to all this, is from what I have seen, manipulating DNA in certain races, which will have a future races that are yet to be born or created from their DNA, such as us humans and we gave birth through our DNA to the Anshar and other races. And how what is done in the past through our DNA, to our quantum DNA, will affect races yet to be born or created from our DNA in the future. And like the Anshar have done to go into the past to correct things, it can be done in a positive way or a negative way, which is part of their dark agenda intention. Would anyone here like to clarify that thought?
Well, Marc, I want to let everybody know, we just landed in a ship and I just got out and the dragons are here. They're safe. They're wonderful. Marc, the DNA potentials and harm, and that's been happening for centuries on your planet and many other planets.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. And yes, it's happening today on your planet again.
Yes.
But the key to that is there are ways to alter that. When we can introduce the technologies, we can assist it and either remove it or formulate it so that it will be advantageous in the future. And we want everyone to know that if you fill that DNA with light and love, and we go back to what we keep saying over and over and over, you are sovereign light beings. You are of the light. You were created from the light. You have a creation origination matrix, point energy, and a frequency pattern. When you align with that every day, when you stand in that sovereign light beingness of you, you will alter the light pattern and frequency and energetics within your body. When you wake up to know that, you also wake up your DNA. And you can release the potentials of harmful DNA. Now, it takes a lot for someone on your planet. You really have to become an avatar. You have to become an enlightened being. Avatars came in knowing who they are. When you remember who you are, you also step in to your enlightened self. And you can step into the full potentials of your body and your beingness. So know that you've got ways to counter it right now. And there are technologies that can assist with that. You connect every day in your meditation, and you connect to your oversoul and your creation origination matrix point energy that Karen talks about with the Mother Central Sun. And you triangulate with that energy every day. You hold yourself in the field of your pure DNA potentials. Please know that. Critical. Thank you for bringing up this point, Marc. It's critical.
Well, yes. Yeah, let's work on this with the Arcturians, with the work that we're already doing, and let's get this done.
It's not about getting it done, Marc. It can't be done. It is a conscious choice every moment.
Okay.
The same as it's a conscious choice to choose love. It's a conscious choice to know your vibrant health. It's a conscious choice to know that you are the manifester of your world. It's a conscious choice to send and be compassion. It's a conscious choice to choose forgiveness. It's a conscious choice to understand that those serving the dark have lost sight of their light. It's a conscious, continual choice. As Karen likes to say, every nanosecond of every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year. It's a constant choice. Constant, conscious choice.
Right. Well, let's see what we can do to bring that into the collective consciousness and sleep state experience of all the Earth surface humans through the 100th monkey effect and more, and who we can support in a more enlightening way. So, we will work on that. And thank you for your love and support and guidance.
You are welcome. With that, we are going to take our leave. We have much to do now that we've got this information. And we are thrilled that you have the understanding of it now, and you can bring this knowledge to Earth, and you can continue your work to support Gaia and all of her inhabitants. Thank you. Thank you. Commander Kassandr is bowing. Thank you, Commander Kassandr. We are so honored to be a part of this experience.
Yeah. Namaste. Thank you all.
Gilly and Galilee and Willem have left. Curry, thank you so much for your support. Yes, you are so welcome. I want to say one more thing before I take my leave for both of you. The message you got before the show recording is critical. The information that Ambassador Kassandr just said is critical for your planet right now. It is so important for you to know that every minute you have a conscious choice of compassion, of love, of forgiveness, of peace. There has been a lot of evil done on your planet to the surface humans, to all species. A lot of evil. There are a lot of beings responsible for that. And I know, Karen, that in the heart of the Piscean that you are, you have a hard time with wanting people to make amends, and you want the justice to happen, and people to be responsible for their choices. And yes, in many ways that has to happen in order for beings to transition and become the phoenix and become anew. They have to know what they did was harmful to many. At the same time, it is important for all of you to remember there has to be compassion, there has to be understanding that they chose what they knew because they forgot who they were. They forgot. And it's going to take tremendous compassion from all of you to allow and accept and forgive what's been done. To forgive those that did the horrible, horrible, horrible atrocities in the Holocaust and throughout all the wars, and what they've done to human slaves and the atrocities to children. You're going to have to reach deep for compassion about that. Deep. Knowing that pain was done by people in pain. that they were more victims and slaves than the people they harmed. It's going to take a lot of compassion. And that's why we've had you read what you've been reading. Pain is stored in the body. The trauma is stored in the body. There are a lot of beings walking around with pain trapped in their field. And it's going to take tremendous compassion, understanding, and forgiveness for you all to release those traumas for yourselves and each other. I want you all to start really diving into that. It's critical right now. You are in this moment of time, especially with the full moon eclipse that has just happened, the complete eclipse, and what's going on in your galactic alignment with your solar system. You have a window for the next 6 months. Use it. Use it well. Use it with intention. Use it with compassion. Use it with understanding. It is critical for how your world will move forward in how you use these next 6 months. That is what I wish to tell you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's like working with like Karen was saying, we'll talk about the pain body, the thought forms, and incorporating from diamond creation conduits, the compassion neutrality field that the Arcturians have talked with us about, and bringing that in a higher, more pure form, and integrating that within the collective of humanity and all species on the planet.
Keep doing that work, Marc. It's critical. And for the rest of you, just deep dive, dig deep is what she's trying to say, that I'm misunderstanding. Dig deep and use whatever method, modality works for you. Marc, continue to do that for the collective. Thank you. With that, I take my leave. Namaste. It's so good to see you again, Curry. And we value this input and this final piece. It is exactly what everyone needs to hear now. Thank you.
Namaste.
Okay. Hugs goodbye. All right. With that, I want to let everyone know that you can find Marc's information at the bottom of the description of the show and how to contact him to work with him. You can find my information on the show channel or at my website. Please like the show and hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it makes a difference. Share the show. It's how many people view the show, like it, and share it that matters, that we get known and seen, that this information gets out there. And that's what's the most important thing right now, to get the channel known, seen, the information out there. We value that. We appreciate that. On my website, you can sign up for my newsletters, which will bring forward the shows. But if you subscribe, you will also, and subscribe and hit the bell, you will get notices when I upload each month's show. So that'll be wonderful too. And find out what's next, what's going on. My personal emails have information about, I'll be involved in an expo, an Awaken expo on June 5th and 6th, that you can get that information, and you'll know more about both of our work. Thank you so much for being part of what I call the Awakenings family. We value you, we appreciate you, and we look forward to being here next month with you as well. With that, I'm going to say namaste. Thank you all for listening, and bye for now.